Hello everybody and welcome to this week's art chat. It is a interesting week, I think, this week. We've made a huge amount of progress, or we did make a huge amount of progress on the greenhouse up until something bad happened to my husband, so we'll talk about that. I'm going to be inking and starting work on the tutorial for my patrons in May. It is a pen and ink and watercolor illustration of a beetle. It's kind of in the ugly stage right now, but I'll show you what I've got later on. And I'm going to take you down into my scary basement again and show you some more work I'm doing down there. And we're going to sort through some of my beautiful, sparkly, gorgeous gems and jewels and beads from when I was making jewelry when I was a jeweler before I started this YouTube channel. And I think I might even show you some of my jewelry designs as well. So anything else I'll pop in. I know I have shot a lot of B-roll footage of like flowers, and I was pressing some flowers and just all sorts of really pretty stuff. So some funny footage of my dog. So it's just a fun little mishmash video of what our week has been like for the last week. And like I said, it was fun up until something happened to my husband. So we'll talk about that too. So grab yourself something cozy to drink, come on in, and let's have a little chat. Okay, so I really have been filming just like on and off bits and pieces. I'm still in my brace, although the bolster is out, as you can see. I'm still sleeping with it at night. It's too painful to not sleep with it at night, but during the day, it's out so that I feel a little bit like I have a little bit more movement, so that's good. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. I guess we should get it out of the way. My husband was at work, and he is normally like the finish carpenter and foreman, so he usually does like finish like trim and custom cabinets and custom built-in bookcases and stuff like that. But they were framing a garage and they needed some help, and he was with a crew that was kind of green, and he was helping frame the wall, and they let go of the wall while he was fastening it down and walked away, and the wall fell on him. So if you saw my live stream yesterday, Thursday, I'm filming this now Friday, he is hurt. He was very lucky not to be killed or have internal bleeding. As far as we can tell, he doesn't have any internal bleeding or anything like that. He may have either torn something in his chest area, or possibly have some broken ribs. He wants to give it a little time to check and wait and see. He's filed all the appropriate stuff with his boss as far as workman's comp. I know people were worried about that yesterday, so that's all taken care of. And we're just waiting right now. It happened early this week, and it has not improved at all so far. So he's got some massive bruising and stuff on his back. He was on the plywood side of the wall, so like it was the frame, the studs, and then the plywood was on, and it blew that way onto him. And we think that the plywood probably saved his life because it helped disperse the weight of the wall. It was a giant wall, so he was very lucky, but also unlucky. I don't know if it was unluck. They just let go of the wall, so I don't know. It was a thing. So it's been quite the week. He's obviously struggling now too, so both of us are struggling. It's not funny. I laugh sometimes, but it's not funny. So that's where we're at with that. But I have some nice footage of earlier in the week when he had the whole outside of the greenhouse is done. It's like I said, Friday. He's getting impatient he wants to be very active and move all the time and stuff. I think probably he really wants to work on the greenhouse, but I told him I don't think it's a good idea. I said, if you really want to do something, you could assemble the countertop table things for potting the plants on. So I think if he does anything this weekend, it's going to be that. I'm cold. Sorry, I keep rubbing my hands together. I'm cold. It's cold today. The other day we woke up and it was like the day before it had been like 64, and then the next morning we woke up and it was 16 degrees and everything was frozen. And it's cold and rainy today, so a good day for a art chat, I guess. So garlic is starting to come up. Bella's helping dig. Did you find something to dig, Belle? There she goes. She's helping aerate the garden. Another thing I wanted to talk about is after, having the surgery and not knowing what's ahead for me as far as rehabilitation, but also just I've had a lot of time to think and process, and I love my YouTube channel, I love my art, I love my little art business, but there's a lot of stuff about it that I think I'm doing wrong. And I think it's time to make some changes. And I did talk, I think, a little bit about this in my live stream. I did talk about this in my live stream yesterday. I'll link that down below in case you want to watch it. By the time this goes up, it'll be after that live stream. So they're probably even after another live stream. So it's not the one immediately before this, is what I'll say. But I have been working I'm sorry, the chair is twisty. I don't know what's going on today. I can see, look at, I'm turning. I'm not doing anything there. My foot caught on the table. I'm sitting cross-legged in the chair. That's probably causing the problem. I've been working very hard since I started this YouTube channel, and let's see, it's not a year and a half yet. It won't be a year and a half until July, but it's a year and some now at this point. And like, it is important. I'm trying to make this my living, so it is important, to earn income and, grow subscribers and get those sponsor deals and work on my Patreon and all that. But on the other hand, it's no good to push myself so hard that I burn out and can't do anything anymore. And I'm starting to feel like I might be on the edge of that. And nothing as far as like the amount of content creation is going to change. I'm still going to do a weekly video, but I think they might change a little bit, the videos. I am really enjoying these mishmash videos, as I call them, art chats. I tried to be fancy and call them art chats, but that didn't really stick, but the mishmash videos did. I enjoy showing you like a sneak peek into, my life and what I'm working on, and it's really my journey as an artist and creator. And by creator, we'll get into that, but I don't just mean video creator or art creator, because there's another aspect that's going to be coming, I think. And I think people like them too, other than either like art hauls or try new products, which are sort of like art hauls, because generally the new products are sent from another company to try, and I open them and everything. These are the most watched videos, and these are actually the ones that I most enjoy making. They're edit intensive, but it kind of feels like telling a story, and on top of that, they free me up in a way. If you've been here since the early days, you know that at the very beginning I was trying to make, film, and edit a piece of art in one whole week for every video, and that was exhausting. And also, it was very oh, sorry, it's my allergy time. I'm allergic to maple buds. It's stressful. It was stressful, but also it was like having someone constantly watching over your shoulder, and is this good enough? Well, it's probably my inner critic, but I was always wondering, like, is this good enough? Is it good enough to post? If it's not good enough, what's going to happen? And for most of this time on here, I've been making and editing the videos each week. I didn't have anything filmed ahead. The first time where I filmed anything ahead was during the preparation for my surgery, and I did like that. So I'm going to keep trying to do that if I can, but you know, life gets crazy and sometimes it's hard. But what I found happening was the more I did that, the simpler and smaller the pieces I was working on got. And I was feeling, I didn't like it. I didn't like the kind of art I was making. I prefer to make bigger, more intricate pieces. And it felt very unchallenging artistically to me, and uninteresting artistically to me. So I think, and we've talked about this on here before, I struggled for a long time with, you know, how am I going to do this? Like, how do I... So I think what I'm planning to do is, as I work on pieces, I'm obviously filming the whole process. And if it's a Patreon piece, obviously those are already up full-time over there. But if it's not a Patreon piece, I will probably still, like, when it's done, do like some sort of time lapse or something on here during one of the weekly videos. And I'm still going to be doing like interspersed other content. It's not going to be just these kind of videos. I'm still going to do like trying new supplies and I don't know, challenges or filling your sketchbook or like, you know, art education, I guess. But I'm also not going to care as much anymore. I know that sounds bad, but I mean, like, and I've talked about this as well. I'm a reforming, because I'm not all the way reformed, people pleaser. And it was very hard for me, especially at the beginning, to like deviate from what I had planned to make as content because I was afraid of letting people down. But it made me really unhappy. And it mentally was causing some issues. So I need to not care if I let people down. I mean, I don't want to let people down, but also I have to put my mental health first for me, because you can't pour from an empty cup. That whole saying has been like the last 2 weeks. I just, over and over, I can't pour from an empty cup because I feel like I'm an empty cup and I'm having some trouble, especially after my husband got hurt. I realized how I was just hanging on by a thread. I still feel like I'm just hanging on by a thread. And I also yesterday talked about how my son, just out of the blue, when he was really young, like 5 years ago, he had what they thought was a random food allergy, and it would cause giant hives, and also like his lips and mouth would swell, and we'd have to go and get Benadryl or whatever IV at the doctor's office. But it hadn't happened in like 5 years. I thought he grew out of it, and then the last 2 weeks it's happened 4 times. So it's been, I feel like I'm just hanging on, and I really want to, I really like making these videos. I do. I like making the videos. I've said this 100 times now today. I said this before, but there's a lot of new people. So a lot of you probably don't know my whole story. There's been, the last month, there's been a lot of new people. So, back when I was in school, I was going to school for a double major in art history and studio art. I had started as pre-med, but that didn't work out. And I had planned and applied to New York University for the filmmaking department, and was accepted. And then I got sick, and with my Crohn's disease, I have Crohn's disease. I've talked about that before. And I didn't get to finish anything. So, but I have always loved stories and movies and stuff. So I think that's why I enjoy this. This is kind of long and rambly. Hopefully I put some video for you to see, or something, or maybe I'll just edit a lot of this out. But, I want to make you guys happy. I want to make good content for you. I want to make content that you'll watch, but I also have to make content that is healthy for me. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm going to be showing you more aspects of my life, I think. Instead of just the art stuff. I mean, you've seen a little bit of it already in these weekly videos where I show you, like, you know, our projects, our greenhouse, or our gardening, or last summer when we go fishing. So instead of like just showing the art side, I'm going to show, you know, more of the life stuff. Always art mixed in because that's a huge part of my life. But like I want to really bring you in more and show you more. And then also, and this is also something we talked about yesterday in the live stream, I have always been someone who really likes to make stuff with my hands. And I mean like physical stuff. I love art, but I also have a real craving to make physical stuff with my hands that isn't the same as art. And I've always, like, I've sewn my own clothes, I've quilted, I knit, I crochet, I do embroidery. I spent how many years, a long time, making jewelry with my hands and having, you know, a finished product. And I miss it. I miss it. So I do think, especially the jewelry making, I miss it. So here are, in no particular order, some of the things that I was making and selling back in the day before I had to close down in October of 2022. These are all deactivated listings from my Etsy shop, which is where I was earning most of my money there for the last, I don't know, 6 years. I wanted to like show you my favorite things first, but I couldn't because they're all deactivated listings. I can't rearrange the order or anything like that. So that was a lot of the wire wrapping stuff that I was doing. And now we're getting more into some of the metal work. Again, like this is more like hammered metal. There's some soldered rings that I made there, some stacking ring sets. Some more wire, simple hoops, some minimalist stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I made a good living at it for many years. It was nice. There's some of that top left one is a custom raw diamond engagement ring. And then there's a bunch of like Herkimer diamond ear studs and some gold stacking rings. I had some more intricate, that acorn is a hand sawed from multiple pieces of metal and put together. That little forget-me-not ball necklace, I hand-picked all those forget-me-nots, dried them, and then put them in a glass orb. It was just a lot of fun. I guess you can see a lot of my jewelry is kind of nature inspired by textures and materials and whatnot. That necklace, the second from the right, I called the Heart of the Sea because it reminded me of the one from Titanic. A lot of hair clips, hammered metal bangles, all real gemstones. I did use only silver, sterling silver, or gold filled or solid gold. Although I don't know, I might branch out and do like some surgical steel or gold plated surgical steel to keep the costs down. And I'm thinking that I'll probably there's some bridal hair pieces I did. I'll probably do a small jewelry collection with each restock of my store. I'm thinking, and nothing's set in stone, but I'm thinking that if my shoulder is okay and I can manage it, I'd like to do there's a gold apatite ring. I love that ring. And those hoops, the rainbow hoops, I love those too. And the raw black diamond with the gold on the upper right, that's the one I told the story about multiple times. In my Etsy video, if you want to hear the story, that ring was what drove me to quit. But anyway, I'm thinking the first shop restock of my art shop with a small jewelry collection may potentially be June 18th. Ignore the masks there in the bottom right there. That was during you know what time, and they were giving away like 100 free listings for your shop if you offered those in your shop. So that's why those are there. Opportunist. I wanted the free listings. So if there's anything here that you see that you think you'd be interested in, these little necklaces I'm holding on the right side of the screen there, those are 2 pieces of glass that are put together like stained glass and then soldered with jewelry grade solder around the outside. I enjoyed making those. Those are fun. But if there's anything you see here that you'd want or would like to buy, I mean, none of this is made now, but like, you know, ideas for future things, I would appreciate it if you would put it in the comments. I just really miss making jewelry, and I would like to make some and just have a few like limited special edition items to offer people, I think, a few times a year. I think that I'm going to try to sprinkle in some jewelry making. I don't know how much of it you'll see, if it'll just be like little snippets here and there, but I miss it. And the plan is that we're going to fix up the scary basement. And I'm going to set up my big easel down there for acrylic and oil painting. I have my clip-on daylight lamp. I'll link it below if you want to get yours. They're not cheap, but they're a really nice lamp. Lockery Fine Arts recommended it in one of her videos, and I have not been sorry that I got it. So that should take care of the lighting issue just for that down there. Of course, they'll keep my tabletop easel up here. If I ever want to work on something smaller, work up here, I can bring it up. It's not like I only have to work downstairs. But I am also going to set up my whole jewelry workstation down there, and you probably saw a little of it in the last art chat that I did, or maybe it was the one before that. I don't know. But you're probably going to see a little bit of that. And I did a lot of silversmithing, like, you know, set stones and silver and gold filled jewelry, a few pieces of solid gold, and I did, well, that is what I did. That's what I did. And I used to sell it just on my own up until, I think, 2016, 15, when I joined Etsy. There's a video on that as well, and what happened there and why I had to quit. But when I quit, like, I didn't think I'd ever make jewelry again. I was so upset about what happened with Etsy, but I really am missing it. So I'm going to set everything up downstairs, and especially to start with, I'm just going to do stuff that is fun and relaxing and enjoyable, like a hobby, because as I mentioned yesterday, my son pointed out, I haven't done anything hobby related since I started this YouTube channel. All I do is work. And he says, and he pointed out, like, I used to do jewelry, and then at the end of the day after like supper, I'd paint for a while as a way to relax after my work of jewelry making, when I was doing that for my full-time job for years and years. And now all I do is art, and it's all for this channel. And it was really a breakthrough moment. And actually, just since my surgery, I've started to try to make some art that's for me and not necessarily for the channel or not a tutorial, or, you know, and I am starting to feel a lot better. And then just the thought of like setting up my jewelry stuff downstairs also makes me feel better. So the jewelry is going to be like the hobby now, while the art is the business. So they switch places. Ow, that hurt. They flip-flopped. So I don't intend to ever again do like I did with the Etsy shop, where the items of jewelry are made to order. So, like, you know, I had like 100 items in my Etsy shop, and I had like especially like 3 pairs of earrings that were super popular. So I might end up doing 30 pairs of the same earring every day for weeks. And it was mind-numbing and very boredom inducing. We've talked about that, how I get bored easily, and that was super boring. So for me, planning a new design and then making it and then, you know, selling that is what's exciting. And once I've made one, I've lost all interest in it, unless it's like something super easy. So I don't ever have plans to do that again, but I do have, you know, my Winterwood studio shop where I sell my prints and stickers and washi tape and whatnot. And I thought, why can't I make, you know, some custom things each month and then just, you know, list them? Which brings me to my next thing. So my shop, since I opened it last September, I closed it now for my surgery and recovery. And I realized I don't like having it open all the time. 'Cause it felt kind of like, I don't know, it felt, some days I enjoyed it and some days it felt like a chore, and it was getting more and more chore-like. So I think what I'm going to do is have a set time where I open my shop for, you know, like a week and sell stuff and then close it again. So like maybe I'll have, what do they call it? Like launches? Restocks? It won't be a restock. We'll call it, I don't know what we'll call it. I'll probably have a small collection of jewelry to launch with it each time, plus any original artworks that I have made since the previous time, and then, you know, prints and stickers and whatnot. Although I am toying with the idea of having it open as like a secret shop for my Patreons all the time. I don't know. I haven't decided. But probably it'll be like a summer launch, a spring launch, a Halloween launch, like a, you know, early November pre-Christmas launch, and then nothing until spring again. So maybe 4 times a year, I think is what I'm planning going forward. And I am planning to do with each of those launches, my original art, stickers and prints, and any other products, plus a small jewelry collection with each of them. And I feel excited about that, and I do feel mentally better. This whole crazy ride has been a learning experience for me. I'm still, you know, a baby at this. I'm still new. It's only been a little over a year, and I definitely was not doing some things right, and I definitely need to fix some things. So hopefully this isn't, I mean, I feel like I've probably been talking for 20 minutes. I'll try to break it up. I'll break it up with a bunch of the other footage, and yeah, that's what I'll do. So that is that. I post-filmed. So this is Friday. This video is for the week that just passed, starting Monday. So, yeah, let's get going and you can see the rest of the week. Okay, so I hope you like that little snippet of my gems and jewels. Here I am, down in the basement, in the scary basement, carrying small batches in a basket down at a time with one arm, my oil painting and acrylic supplies, and then reorganizing it all into my little metal art cart that I love so much. I'm already feeling really excited about doing some acrylic and oil painting down here and having a space where I don't have to worry about splashing or spattering. I'm actually feeling really excited about this. As I'm filming this, I am about approximately half an hour away from leaving for my first physical therapy. I've had the brace off for a few days. It's Friday. I had to cancel my live stream yesterday because I'm sick with something. I don't know if it's a stomach bug or a Crohn's flare, but here I am working on inking. This is the tutorial for my Patreons on Patreon in May. It's going to be like a pen and ink watercolor wash, probably colored pencil illustration video of a beetle and some nasturtium flowers. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I'm just half an hour away from leaving for the first physical therapy. My brace has been off, I think, 5 days now. I don't know if that's right. Maybe 6. And I'm feeling hopeful that she says I can start using it at least a little bit, at least enough so that I can do some acrylic and oil painting. I'd really like to make this the spring and summer of acrylic and oil painting. I've done lots and lots and lots of watercolor and gouache while I was, well, not lots, not as much as I would normally do while I was not injured, but I've been doing watercolor and gouache pretty much ever since my injury with some marker thrown in, ever since I got injured back in November 2023, and I am really, really looking forward to doing some stuff that is not watercolor and gouache. I've talked about it before. I get bored kind of easily. I can do a few pieces in one medium, but then I need to switch it up and switch to another one, and I am looking very much forward to switching to some other mediums. I think the basement space would also be good for doing some pastel work down there and not having to worry about the dust and the cleanup as much as well. So this tutorial should be up on my Patreon, I think, near the end of May. They usually go up on Fridays. And I'm going to show you a little snippet of getting started here on the watercolor. I'll show more next week, but I did want to show a little bit of the watercolor this week. I'm really enjoying this piece so far. It's been a lot of fun doing like a full-on line work piece. I haven't done that in a while. When I was using the robot chair with the after surgery, and I'm still using it as of today. I'm hoping tomorrow I no longer have to do it after I see the physical therapist. I did a bunch of line work type sketches on my iPad. I think I did like 8 because I had to sit there and I couldn't do anything else. So I have a bunch of pieces I can work on with watercolor and ink this summer and into the fall and winter, all ready to go whenever I'm ready. And I am excited to do those too. In general, I think mentally I'm feeling a lot better between getting the basement space ready, and I think Fridays I'm going to make time. I think Friday mornings I'm going to do whatever art I want to do and not worry about whether it's a tutorial or for a YouTube video or whatever. And then Friday afternoons I think I'm going to spend doing jewelry just for fun. I think Fridays are going to be my fun day, which is going to have to require some, pretty severe schedule making and plan making so that I can get everything done in Monday through Thursday. And I'm aware of that, but I need that day to be creative. Just thinking about having that has made me feel less burnt out and more excited about art and life in general. I've been feeling, like I said, on the edge of burnout, and my creativity has been suffering. I haven't felt like making anything or doing anything or creating anything. And like I said, a lot of it was also situational because of what I'm dealing with my arm and my husband and my son with the hives. But in general, this week, mentally, I'm feeling a lot more excited about creating again. And I'm looking forward to all the art I'm going to create this summer and spring and summer, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm also looking forward to pivoting slightly here on the YouTube channel and making more story-like videos about what's going on in my life each week. So I think this is about the end of this little clip. This is just the very, very beginning layers. This is going to be like a 7 or 8 hour piece probably with all the layers, but I thought I would toss it in so you could see what I was working on this week. I don't always show everything I'm working on because I feel like it's important to have that creative space where I don't have to show everything as I'm working on it, especially as, I'm just like everybody else. I go through that ugly stage and I feel unsure about things, and sometimes it's really hard to show that stuff and sketchbook stuff and stuff like that, although I think I probably at some point I'm going to have to show the sketchbook stuff. But sometimes it's hard to always show everything that you're doing. Not everything is a 5-star success. Sometimes I fail just like everybody else, and it's hard to be so vulnerable. Okay, you guys, I hope you liked that mishmash video. I hope what I'm planning to do is okay with you guys. If you could tell me in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. I hope I don't lose followers. But in the end, I'll say followers and subscribers here. In the end, if I'm not happy, it doesn't really matter how many subscribers I have because I won't be able to sustain it. So hopefully this is okay with everybody. I'd like to hear what some of your comments are. Leave them in the comments. Comments. If you haven't hit the like or subscribe button yet, please do so. It really helps my channel. It helps YouTube know this is quality content and helps push it out to a little bit more people, which helps support my channel. And if you're interested in my Patreon or anything like that, it'll all be linked down below. So until next time, happy creating.